Coming up next on Making Moves, a school bus driver shortage is leaving some Duval County school kids without a ride to class. Correspondent Vicki Pierre tells us how JTA plans to help.
The district began looking for solutions. That's where JTA comes in, along with a new pilot program geared specifically toward our student riders.
I think it opens up a lot of opportunities, particularly for students who don't have any other means of transportation.
Bill introduces you to the newest members of the JTA leadership team and find out where they see the authority going in the future. CEO Nat Ford is honored for his work supporting community health.
I firmly, in my gut, feel that there are probably people today in Jacksonville that are alive and well because of the initiatives that Mr. Ford and the leadership team put into place.
And we take one last look back at the top stories of 2021.
2021, 0223, gas tax, local option gas tax legislation. Please open your ballot and cast your vote.
Hello and welcome to Making Moves. I'm Bill Milnes. Thank you for joining us today. Back in 2013, Duval County Public Schools cut transportation to many of its magnet schools. That left many parents with a big transportation problem. No way for their kids to get to class. So JTA stepped up, helping parents plan a route using JTA to transport their student to their particular magnet school. And each day, more than 2,000 kids use JTA to get to class. Making Moves correspondent Vicki Pierre tells us how JTA is looking to do it again, only this time for middle and high school students in any Duval County public or private school.
Big yellow school buses are what most of us think of when it comes to how our students get to and from school. But over the past few months, transporting all Duval County public school students in a timely manner has hit some roadblocks.
Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's really been a challenge with having enough commercially licensed drivers. It's affecting the entire city.
That's Duval County Public Schools Assistant Superintendent of Operations, Paul Soares. He says, unfortunately, a national bus driver shortage has led to a slowdown in some bus routes.
It generally means that buses can arrive later. If we literally do not have a bus driver for a 3 o'clock pickup at a school, then we'll have to wait to the earliest run that finishes, which may finish at 3:30, 3:35, 3:40, have that bus double back to do that run, which could be a 40-45 minute delay, and that's happened.
Given these challenges, Soares says the district began looking for solutions. That's where JTA comes in, along with a new pilot program geared specifically toward our student riders.
I think it opens up a lot of opportunities, particularly for students who don't have any other means of transportation.
As of January 4th, all Duval County middle and high school students, whether they're public, private, or charter, can ride JTA buses for free. They'll be able to ride Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., and with the program ending on May 27th, the last day of school for Duval County. Here's JTA's Lisa Darnall, Interim Senior Vice President of Transit Operations.
So we've tried to cover any after-school activities as well, Monday through Friday, and it also might introduce students to public transit who may not be familiar with public transit. While the hours are set around the school hours, we know that there will be opportunities for them to take advantage of the transit services even up until 7 o'clock at night.
In order to participate in the program, all students need to do is present their student ID. If they don't have one, JTA will work with them in order to get one. But what about those students who have never ridden public transportation? Well, JTA has a solution for that too, travel training for those who need it.
They will not only show them how to read the schedules and understand where they would board a bus and where they could get off a bus, but really how to, just the rules of the road and anything else they might need to travel.
Soares says the benefits can't be overstated. An obvious one is helping families that may be limited in transportation.
So this really gives them an option to use and hopefully will make their life a little bit easier.
But what's more, Suarez says this program opens the door to more riding options and to faster, more efficient service. An opportunity both the district and JTA say is a win-win for students, families, and schools.
I think we're very grateful to be able to work with JTA as a partner here for the city of Jacksonville to help improve access to our schools using a system that hopefully will also benefit their system in terms of promoting awareness and use of the system. So we do feel very fortunate.
And we are constantly looking at ways where we can help the community, and this is just one more way.
In La Villa, Vicki Pierre, JTA, Making Moves.
JTA CEO Nat Ford has some new members of his executive leadership team to help him run the award-winning authority. Chief of Staff Kimberly Dunham and Vice President of Engagement Rosa Beckett recently joined the JTA team.
Rosa Beckett is no stranger to Jacksonville, or transportation for that matter. Beckett spent 18 years at the Jacksonville Aviation Authority. Now, after 2 years in the private sector in Pittsburgh, the Florida native is happy to be back and at the JTA as the authority's new Vice President of Engagement. From her fifth-floor office at the Jacksonville Regional Transportation Center at La Villa, Beckett has an amazing view of our city, and it couldn't be more appropriate for how she sees her new job here.
With the engagement group, I really want to make sure that we focus on the importance of the customer, but also focus on the importance of our employees as customers of each other. So the title engagement really will have a meaning for the division as we move forward. How can we better provide services to each other? How can we better provide services and options to the public? And so going into 2022, we're really going to ramp up the level of service both internally and externally.
Increasing engagement with the public will be critical to building back ridership lost to the pandemic. So Beckett says look for a more visible JTA in the coming months.
In 2022, ridership is really going to be on top of mind with the engagement division and also top of mind throughout the organization. So I think we're going to have to look at sort of out of the box thinking on how we increase ridership. Do we need to get out in the community and have system education opportunities where we're actually teaching the community, even business folks? We're teaching school-age children how to actually read a route map and how to actually use the system. So as opposed to them identifying the need for transportation, get out and promote the desire to ride an alternative means of transportation. So
another pandemic-driven issue on Beckett's plate is employee retention and recruitment. A paradigm shift in the way people look at their careers since the pandemic means new approaches and methodologies must be deployed in finding new job candidates for the JTA.
And that's where the mindset gets into active recruiting. When you think about it, we have accounting and finance professionals, we have engineers, we have marketing and PR professionals, we have HR professionals. So just about every type of discipline you could enter in as a professional, we have it at JTA. Does the average college student know that? I don't think so. So again, when you talk about active recruitment, you also have to think about active promotion of what career opportunities exist. And so I think that's something that we will begin to take a look at to make sure that we are actively recruiting for not just what JTA needs today, but what does JTA need in the future.
Excited by all the possibilities and challenges presented by her new opportunity with the JTA, Beckett sent a notification about her new position to her former colleagues and other women executives working in her former field of aviation. The response back gave her a clear indication of JTA's status in the transportation world.
I actually sent a notification to a lot of airport professionals about me joining JTA and leaving the aviation industry. And the communication I got back was, oh, you're going to work for Nat Ford. He's doing something really innovative with the autonomous vehicles. Maybe you all can teach us something here at the airports. So it was every female executive director and CEO of airports in North America were all on this communication saying, hey, maybe we can lean into JTA to teach us something about autonomous vehicles and how we can integrate that into the airport operations. So I'm very excited about that and what's going on there and what type of professionals are we really going to need in the future to get that going.
I have been in the public transit industry for more than 30 years.
JTA's new chief of staff is Kimberly Dunham. She comes to Northeast Florida from a 2-year stint as CEO of the transit system in Toledo, Ohio. In her short time at the JTA, Dunham says she's already impressed and a bit surprised at the speed of progress here.
The pace at which we work, the amount of projects that we have to complete, how committed our staff are to get the job done.
Dunham's main role will be to support CEO Nat Ford and the board of directors to move forward the authority's initiatives and objectives. Working with Ford is a main reason she took the job here at JTA.
His leadership in APTA was probably the first thing that I really noticed, when he was chair of APTA. And then just following social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, posts, news articles. APTA is always promoting JTA's successes, implementation, innovative transportation. Mr. Ford's leadership, his drive for excellence, pushing, we always have to, status quo is not good enough. We always have to be pushing, harder to be the best that we possibly can be.
Dunham says she's particularly intrigued by what she calls JTA's mobility ecosystem.
I really love the idea that we are building a mobility ecosystem here, right? That we're not just a transit system. We actually are building complete streets and roads and bridges and sidewalks and, in addition to rolling out transit, that we're partnering with other private entities to provide. And it really is about a mobility ecosystem that perhaps we don't provide all the components of. So this concept that JTA is going to be the subject matter expert and thought leader in this region, not just in this city, but in this region, to have interconnectivity between modes beyond just public transit is very inspiring to me.
Dunham says it excites her to consider a future here with advancements like the U2C with autonomous vehicles and the possibility of adding commuter rail to the mix.
I'm really excited about our future plans, not just related to U2C, but looking into commuter rail, expanding commuter rail.
Personally, the new chief of staff brings large amounts of positivity and a desire to help others find their own greatness within themselves.
It's always been part of my leadership style. Our people are what inspire me to do my work. They have at every agency that I've worked at. I have to be completely honest. So if I can help, inspire and bring that positive energy to our team at all levels, really to help people see their own greatness and their ability and move us towards goals, it'll be my pleasure.
A third new member, Charles Frazier, starts this month. Frazier is the new Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Transit Operations. We'll meet him on our next show. You may remember from our last show, we showed you the huge haul of awards the JTA has received recently. Well, since then, there's been another win, this one for CEO Nat Ford. Ford was honored at the 2021 Agape Awards for his commitment to community health, primarily through JTA's efforts in creating opportunities for residents to get vaccinated during the pandemic with its Ride to Health and Wellness on Wheels initiatives.
I love this community. It's been welcoming to me and my family, and there's not anything that the JTA and this team would not do to support this community. As it related to the pandemic, we recognize that availability of a vaccine did not mean that we were going to be successful in our community unless we provided accessibility to that vaccine, and that's how the Wellness on Wheels effort was born. And we're just so proud of the number of folks that were able to use these mobile units to protect themselves and their families. So with that, congratulations to all the awardees. Thank you for the honor. I accept it on behalf of the team that I get a chance or blessed to lead every day. Thank you.
One of Mr. Ford's biggest supporters is Ari Jolly, the chairwoman of JTA's Board of Directors. We asked her why she thought Ford was worthy of this latest recognition.
I firmly, in my gut, feel that there are probably people today in Jacksonville that are alive and well because of the initiatives that Mr. Ford and the leadership team put into place. I believe that this Wellness on Wheels program and the other initiatives here, we can't quantify it maybe, but I know that we have brought vaccination to 11,000 people, and query whether there have been lives that have been saved because of that opportunity. So that in and of itself is to me ample reason for Mr. Ford to.
Still to come on Making Moves, we look back at the top JTA stories of 2021. What do you think will be the #1 story? Then later, does Santa really need a traditional sleigh in Florida? JTA doesn't think so. We'll show you how the big guy gets around in Jacksonville. That's all next when Making Moves returns. You're watching Making Moves, honored by the Florida Public Transportation Association with its 2021 First Place Award for Electronic Media.
Welcome back to Making Moves. 2021 was a wild ride at the JTA, everything from award-winning pandemic response to the final Mobility Works roadway construction projects to the passage of groundbreaking legislation that will change Jacksonville as we know it. Let's take a look back. $20 million. That's how much JTA has put into rebuilding the St. Johns River Ferry since it took over operation of the failing service back in March of 2016. And in January 2021, it launched Phase 4 of the improvement project. Senior correspondent Eugene Lindsay explains all the upgrades to both the Fort George and Mayport landings.
During peak periods of use, the cars will back up into the road and block the road. By adding queuing lanes and queuing space, we'll take those cars off the road and queue them here on our facility rather than blocking the road.
And as you roll aboard the ferry and sail across the river over to Fort George Island, you'll also find new amenities to welcome you here as well. And just like across the river, here you'll find new lighting, landscaping, and renovations to the existing restroom facility. But the plan here also calls for an electric vehicle charging station. And here's something you may not be aware of. This route is part of a 3,000-mile bike trail that runs from Maine all the way to Key West, Florida. Ferry attendants tell me that cyclists often uses the ferry as more and more people are choosing cycling not just for recreation, but also for transportation.
In February, JTA officials officially dedicated its new headquarters and bus terminal, the JRTC. The authority also took possession of a new autonomous vehicle, the Perrone EV Star. Making Moves got one of the first rides in the driverless passenger van. Electrification was also on the table in 2021 as JTA took possession of its first 2 electric buses. The authority is now testing the vehicles to determine if they meet their long-term transit service goals. The spring saw the launch of 2 major initiatives, Wellness on Wheels and Jobs for Jacks. The vision of CEO Nat Ford, Wellness on Wheels, was an idea to help get more local residents vaccinated. It was so unique and innovative, the program even got a shout out from the U.S. Secretary of Transportation.
In Jacksonville, Florida, the Transportation Authority there helped to launch Wellness on Wheels, a mobile vaccine service ensuring that seniors and underserved communities had the opportunity to secure those critically needed vaccinations. And these are the kinds of efforts that are going to get more support.
To date, more than 11,000 people have been vaccinated through the Wellness on Wheels mobile units. While Wellness on Wheels helped fix the present, Jobs for Jacks focused on Jacksonville's future by extending and expanding the local option gas tax by 6 cents to fund nearly $1 billion worth of infrastructure improvements, including roads, sewers, the Emerald Trail, and the Skyway. Before the Jobs for Jacks initiative moves forward, it had to get approval from City Council.
2021-0223. The gas tax, local option gas tax legislation. Please open your ballot and cast your vote.
14 yeas, 5 nays.
JTA continued to operate Clay County transportation for our neighbors to the south, and in 2021, a new line was launched. The Green Line would take passengers between Keystone Heights, Penny Farms, and the VA Clinic in Middleburg.
More of our 2021 year in review still to come, including the final installment of Mobility Works road construction projects, why the world's largest tire manufacturer wants to partner with JTA, and the largest bus rapid transit system in the Southeast is complete and open in Jacksonville. Then later, we'll have kids, cops, and Santa. What could go wrong? Find out coming up. You're watching Making Moves, the most honored transportation news and information program of its kind in the country.
Welcome back to Making Moves as we continue our look back at some of the top stories from 2021. The summer of 21 saw us kick off one of the final JTA Mobility Works projects, Paramore Road on the west side. Paramore is expected to funnel several thousand vehicles off Blanding Boulevard and Collins Road, helping to ease traffic in that area. Another project nearing completion is the Turbo Roundabout at the University Boulevard and Merrill Road intersection. The Turbo Roundabout is the first of its kind in the United States. Goodyear, the world's largest tire manufacturer, teamed with JTA to test their airless tires on our autonomous vehicles at our test tracks at Cecil Field and Armsdale. This unique partnership made news around the world.
This is exactly what Goodyear is looking for in terms of a test and learn, get in the wild, be aggressive, right? Go ahead, put it hard through the paces of all these simulated stops and turns in the bus station.
The MPTs are now driving with the Ollie 2.0, Local Motors 3D printed autonomous shuttle.
Beep and Local Motors together have been working with Jacksonville, right? JTA to figure out how to become part of this test and learn facility. So that's what all came together.
For the U.S.-based AV manufacturer, Jacksonville provides a hub for testing, deployment, and innovation.
It's become a very progressive, collaborative environment where we are learning from each other and enhancing the feature set of the mobility solution.
September brought us a pilot program that offered free fares for college students.
Having a bus pass on your phone ready to go at any time gives you the feeling of independence. It also gives you the option to save some money. And most important for students, they can reduce their carbon footprint by riding the bus.
JTA Transit-Oriented Development Program took a huge leap with the opening of KIPP Schools Jacksonville at the authority's Gulf Air property, which also features a First Coast Flyer station. The school is expected to generate hundreds of new trips on JTA each week. With the opening of the Flyers Orange Line, JTA officially has the largest bus rapid transit system in the entire southeastern United States. The Orange Line serves Park Street and Blanding Boulevard all the way to the Orange Park Mall. Finally, the JTA will soon start design and construction on the multiple sections of the highly anticipated Emerald Trail, a 30-mile walking and biking trail through more than a dozen neighborhoods near downtown. The Emerald Trail is being funded with monies from the gas tax extension and expansion. That surely was some year. I'm betting 2022 will be even bigger and better as the U2C starts to take shape and more TOD projects come online and the construction of the Emerald Trail begins. Big things to come, folks. Well, JSO officers responded to the Walmart on 103rd Street in Jacksonville's west side where some young kids had gathered. When they arrived, they found several young kids in an excited state. It seems a JTA bus dropped off Santa Claus to surprise the kids as they arrived to go holiday shopping with the officers. It was all part of the Police Athletic League's annual Christmas for Kids shopping spree. Everyone got a chance to take some pictures with Santa before they went inside, and judging by these photos, it looks like the officers had just as much fun as the kids. That was Santa, by the way. JTA bus operator Kendarius Fitzpatrick. And every year in December, Kendarius dons his Santa outfit and hops in his specially wrapped holiday bus and gives free rides to everyone who rides that route that day. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. And that wraps up this edition of Making Moves. We thank you for joining us, and we hope you'll tune in again soon as we continue to bring you the latest in transportation news, economic development, and all things JTA. If you want to watch any of our shows again or catch up on ones you may have missed, we welcome you to check out our YouTube channel. A direct link to the YouTube page is available at jtafla.com. I'm Bill Milnes for everyone here at Making Moves. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.